Coming from the Truspace, we ain't answer typing neighbors. I don't give a fuck what you say. Found the universal coochie, planting seeds and birds fruit. Now I'm really looking juicy. Welcome to the Truspace. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the Truspace. Welcome to the Truspace. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the Truspace.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to Truspace. I'm your astrology open book. My partner.
I'm Harith. I'm your medical astrologer.
Yep, and this is the weekly horoscope. So, yeah, let's get into it. Energies we're going to be hit with this week. Today, February 21st, the moon is opposite Uranus right now. So, we're going with the moon in Scorpio being opposite Uranus in Taurus right now. So, how do you think that's going to be hitting us?
Well, if we look back at what happened a few weeks ago, well, not a few weeks ago, but a few days, we had the full moon in Leo, since where it was allowing us to express what we're building in Aquarius. Since the sun went to Aquarius, then the moon, we had the new moon in Aquarius, then we started planting seed all the way to the full moon in Leo. So right now we're in the falling sequence of the reflecting sequence of the full moon. Essentially, we're letting go right now, and we're in the fixated portion of the fall season, which is Scorpio, dealing with transforming our deep fixated desire for the purpose of evolution, for the purpose of becoming the phoenix, transforming.
Yeah, become a better version.
Exactly. And with the opposition to Uranus, which is way more important than the moon, because the moon only stays for 2 days. Uranus is one of those higher planets, along with Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. They're part of the higher tree of the tree of life, the Kabbalah, so they take you to further up dimension. So it's much more easy. It's much more important to pay towards Uranus, and the opposition is really forcing you to transform.
Yeah, that's that generational pull that you're gonna see, all throughout your realm of reality. Whereas the moon, you're only gonna see those type of things play out internally, within you. Whereas that Uranus, so that goes to show how that dynamic's gonna work out. So it's gonna be an emotion, with inside of you that you're gonna have to let go. Like what you were saying, how we're in that that releasing phase, and it's funny. And then we come into the quarter with the moon in Scorpio. Where that challenge of letting go, it's like you really have to let that shit go.
And Pluto's right there, so you're getting scared.
Yeah. Pluto's being that opposing force right there. And then the moon is also trining the sun now, since it's Pisces season, officially Pisces season. So moon coming in, trining with the sun in Pisces. How do you think that's hitting us?
This would definitely allow you to handle the moon opposite Uranus from a different perspective, since the sun right now is in Pisces, and right now you're emotionally creating opportunity for what you're paying attention to, dealing with the sun in Pisces, which is dreams, illusion, belief systems, imagination, all these things dealing with the dream world. And your emotion right now is in the area where they want to be serious. Scorpio, they want to transform. They want to select the right desire, but you have to select the right dream or illusion that you're paying to the sun, basically.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Especially with with all that with the water conjunction happening with the Uranus opposition, it's really going to help you understand the behind the scenes energy
Uranus, Uranus is right here down to earth. You're feeling it, but right there in the higher realms, it's helping you.
Exactly. Pushing you into those realms of reality or to those situations, forcing you to be unstable since it's in Taurus, for you to really start to question, your emotional vulnerabilities with the moon in Scorpio, and your dreams that you're paying attention to, and what beliefs you're really holding on to, and how those align with it, for sure. That window of opportunity.
It's forcing you to let go of the third dimension, everything that's physical, you could touch, fixated material, and focus more on the higher dimensions and things of that nature. It's putting you in the position to be spiritual or not, essentially. Or you
Exactly.
in the physical world.
Exactly. And then with Uranus being there, it's crazy how Most people don't see it, or they're scared of it. And then the North Node is creeping up in there too, but they're scared of it. But that spirituality aspect is what's going to bring them that security. That's what's going to blend with it, so that they are actually solid and have value, can bring value to things.
And the moon trining the sun is gonna allow you to be much more serious. Since I find Scorpio out of all the water signs is the most serious water sign. Pisces could be flip-floppy, so the moon in Scorpio is going to allow you to be more serious, more fixated, while the sun in the sun in Pisces is going to allow you to be much more mutable, to handle these things with Scorpio, the fixated things. It's going to help you out. Mutable, fixed, mutable.
That's facts. Cancer, they're going to overreact, but they're going to forget about it real quick. And then the Pisces, they're going to create a whole different type of situation and get lost from the main purpose. But a Scorpio's going to be like, yo, nigga, we gonna die. You know, really hold on to that shit and examine it. And then we got Mercury squaring the moon that day too. So Mercury coming into Aquarius after coming out of Capricorn, coming to square the moon in Scorpio. So that square, that frustration, how you think that's hitting us?
Let me see. So we're getting frustrated with the moon opposite Uranus, so we're getting frustrated in the 3D dimension realm, and we're getting help in the moon trining the sun. And Mercury right now, our thoughts, this is the air realm, is squaring the moon right now. So I find thick opposition and squares are much more important than trines and sextiles, because they put you in a situation to actually learn and know what to transform for the sake of Mercury entering Aquarius. And the moon squaring Mercury is creating enough tension for you to realize what to transform for the sake of becoming more man-like, more Aquarius-like, to know how to bear the water, as opposed to get lost in that Scorpio fixed ice water.
Yeah, that's facts. Because you even look at how squares play out, and especially with the alignments that happen, it's like, what is it? I think it's like a trine that happens, that sends you, trines accelerate things, help advance things, and then after the trine, you get a square, it's the fucking brick wall. If you don't have agility, to stop and change direction, then you're gonna fucking crash, and you're gonna be moving slower and lose all that momentum that you had built up before. So that's definitely how it's working out, because especially with the Mercury and Aquarius, you're going to be into talking, or you're going to be in those debates. I feel like we can't run away from that with Mercury and Aquarius. You're gonna have to start speaking your mind.
Because the sun just going through Aquarius allowed us to be more aware of that energy. But we need other planets to also move through it to develop the whole energy, to understand the whole archetype. Because already we understand Capricorn, because Pluto been there, Mars and Venus, and then we know the sun been there. So when we go through Mercury entering Aquarius, then wait for Mars, Venus, we're going to be real into this Aquarius shit.
Exactly. And that's how a lot of things play out, you go through it first, and then afterwards you start talking about it with people, and start comparing the things, and then afterwards Mars comes in and you start getting mad at it. Wait, that nigga did me dirty. He's like, wait, what happened?
100%, yo.
That's funny how that square works out. But yeah, definitely those downloads come in with that that mental space, and you're going to have to come with those facts, and it's really going to show you where you were emotionally with the moon in Scorpio, and what's making you vulnerable, what you actually don't know, what is maybe based off of a desire. Do you just want to know these things, or do you actually have that knowledge? That's what that square is really going to emphasize. If you've been combining that that mental realm, the things that you hold deep with the information and associates that you've been collecting, because if those been out of whack, then what are you doing when you're talking? You're not expressing your real self. Are you being open, to allow all of those real selves, or are you too scared or too vulnerable to do those things? That's something that, and being revealed through a conversation, and through you being prompted to speak those things. I think that's what's going to really happen today, through a conversation.
100%.
And then we have Jupiter sextile Uranus. So Jupiter is coming to an exact sextile with Uranus and Taurus. So yeah, just like what we were talking about with Pisces, how we're really learning to detach from the 3D realm right now, and
the physical world. Mm-hmm.
exactly, and we're
To be all in the subconscious mind of the entire reality, the whole collective, which is what Pisces is. It's almost like a water bubble that everybody's swimming in. Even though you might be living at your house right now, you're feeling other people. People are going through it. Ukraine, Africa, even though you may not be there. But in the fifth, fourth dimension, sixth, we're there, all of us together. But here we're
all in that collective pool. Yeah, wholeheartedly.
And you're really shaking the ground for us to let go of the physical dimension, so we pay attention and learn how to grow, extract knowledge and wisdom, and that Pisces realm, which could be very delusional. So you gotta be very selective when you go there. You gotta go there to the higher realms with an idea, with a dogma, with a concept. So you don't get lost there, because you're gonna get outweighed by all the ideas and feelings. This is why all mutable signs, they look flip floppy to other people. They look untrustworthy.
Yeah, and why most serial killers are going to be within the mutable signs, for sure.
You can't trust mutable signs. They're shapeless, they're formless. They trying to get out of what is a context is.
Wholeheartedly, they're really going to be in that transitory state where it's like you kind of know what they are too, but then they change the shape and form, and then or start to transition, and that really throws you off.
Bro, 100%. And they do it in a different way. Geminis, they do it with speaking, language, talking, being logical, debates, analyzing. Virgo do it with practicalizing what makes sense. Gemini, Sagittarius with philosophy, knowledge, and wisdom. Look at both visions and imagination, and they develop a whole broad knowledge of everything. Pisces, a whole another story. Pisces is flunked out in the some next world.
Yup. Tapped into everybody's emotions. But look how lost you can be. Look how much bullshit emotions people be on. Look on top of you have to be on your environment. Look on top of you have to be, up on everything, And that's why Pisces is that accumulative thing, because if you haven't been having those energies in check, in that progressive spot.
You're gonna get checked. And Pisces is gonna bring your dream and your deepest subconscious out.
Yep, and make you experience that. Yep, exactly.
It's gonna show you what does it mean to I believe.
Exactly. I feel like that's a lot with that Jupiter sextile Uranus is gonna show people. Really make you go through that experience that shows you either whatever you had believed was going to be stable, you're really going to start, experiencing those things to change. Maybe what you had believed was going to bring that stability and was what you had to have progressed into wasn't solid, or false influence, or you were being influenced by other things. So it's really going to help you expose that thing, whether it plays out positively or negatively. It's going to, and that's the whole point of with the Jupiter transits and you going through these experiences and building the knowledge and meanings and reasonings so that you can have a moral system and a guiding system to go through new experiences. So that's how Monday's looking, Moon Day. And then Tuesday, February 22nd, we have the moon conjuncting with being opposite of conjuncting the south node and opposite the north node. So how do you think that demographic will be going out?
So right now we're gonna be emotionally reacting in a much more deeper way than the early degrees of Scorpio. So, and it's going to conjunct the south node. So it's going to emotionally remind us of what we're trying to let go emotionally, what we're trying to transform, those desires to create some form of purity, transformation. It's just going to add more emphasis. It's going to remind you have to let go. The south node is going to be right there as you're emotionally traveling.
For sure, and I feel like it's going to be a test too. When you're passing over the south node, you get thrown into a realm of reality that is really familiar, and especially when we're talking about with the moon and Scorpio, when you're vulnerable emotionally and you're really being more in tune to the deeper, more psychological aspects of you, going over the south node. That's the familiarity in a very deep, vulnerable place. And especially coming off the opposition with Uranus, it's like the direction that you need to balance out that energy is looking very scary and looking very uncomfortable. So you're going to need to be, deep with that Scorpio energy, or certain about that Scorpio energy for you to, to reach out, to not really, to understand your vulnerabilities on that level, so that you don't get held back by that South Node, holding on to it. You overstand that, and you can find your talents through it, and it's not something that holds you back. It's something that you can actually use to propel you forward. For sure. And then the moon is going to trine Neptune, with the moon in the later degrees, which basically going back on with that Pisces energy. Pisces is really heavy, hitting us in its power.
Jupiter's at home there too, so, and the sun is right there too. So you're gonna be really in the dream world, and like you wouldn't know what we're talking about unless we're gonna go through all those degrees, and we're gonna talk about later on what happened, because we're still in the early degrees. We did not hit the 3rd degree of Pisces, which where I think Farmahawk is, Archangel Gabriel, and this is where you might experience the whole Muhammad Gabriel allegory of you getting a revelation or a dream or illusion or whatnot.
Yep, wholeheartedly. Definitely within that realm of reality, and we're really through it, or going through it. With that Jupiter being there, it's really like wrapping or showing us that meaning and wisdom that we're building up from those experiences. And then the sun is shining the light on it. Sun is creating that stage for us to really pay attention to our experiences, because that's a whole thing that we don't do, and especially that we don't do within Pisces. So it's really lighting up that aspect of our life.
That's crazy, because the sun is our solar plexus, and our spirit or the observer likes to use it as our main spaceship. So going to the realm of Pisces with our main spaceship, the solar plexus, is going to really help us to understand it, illuminate that unseen world, as opposed to Neptune and Jupiter being there. Neptune is here to prepare us to understand all those things we deal with, spirituality and all those things, because Neptune was there for 20, 30 years, and if you've been on track, on the wave, then you've been growing, reading, learning, and things of that nature. You understand too. I led you to this point too.
Yep, wholeheartedly. And then Neptune is putting us in that space where I feel like it's heavy manifestation energy of these things. So if you haven't been putting on all the work that you have been putting up to this point, leading up to this Pisces season, you're really going to start to see the manifestations and the power. As the sun's moving through Pisces season, it's really going to start to show you the reality of your beliefs. It's really going to start to physicalize it and dense it down, especially with the what you call sextile with Uranus that's going on. It's really providing that new space for, before you could have been flunked out, there was a structure that was in place before, and certain things were secure, and you could have held this belief and this imagination. Now with Uranus and Taurus, shaking up that entire foundation, it's like you can't even hold on to that belief and imagination anymore, or she'll really be flunked out, out there with no tether or cord. And then the sun is really shining that, and it's like, you better ground those fucking beliefs. You better ground that in something, or else float away. You're gonna leave.
100%. And if you look at it from a whole biological perspective, since astrology is about the body, we've been in Capricorn for a while, so we're building our structure, our frame. We're building a new frame, and Uranus in Taurus is allowing us to really push our hormonal system, our endocrine system, to develop some form of stability. Since Uranus is a high electrical volt energy that could shock you completely. So first we have to develop our hormonal system to develop a better fixated material in our body towards the second house, to develop all those strong things in our body. Because since hormones play a very important role in your body, and things of that nature, and we add all those energies into Aquarius, so we build our nervous system, our mind, and things of that nature. Then in Pisces right now, we're building our skin. Our skin allow us to feel to the external world, and your skin responds immediately to anything that's going, whether it's cold, hot, and things of that nature. And Aries being right there under Pisces, that's our brain and nervous system. So the skin responds, feels, and then speaks with Aries, the first house, then you react. So like you developing a whole new biology.
Yo, that's crazy how that works out. And then the skin is so absorbent too, you know, within that within its capability, and how much it consumes within that shows how much, and then we don't pay attention to that, you know, or think about. And that's literally how we are with the subconscious, and it's the biggest organ. The subconscious is the most important aspect, you know, of us, but then we don't even notice that. Just like with our skin and what we expose that to. That's crazy.
Yeah, or you could look at it as like how they like to call Pisces as the fish scale, essentially, because you're a fish. You can say you're developing that ability to swim right now. And you were learning. And of course, you're learning how to develop your esoteric chins, so you can run around and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And Capricorn, you're building that structure, that frame, so you can sit under your status.
Yeah, so that you can then in turn move, you know, have internal structure.
Because you have a chair. This is Capricorn right now. Now you can walk around, talk to people, associate, network, and then now you can sit back in Pisces. Just imagine, yo.
Yep. Most definitely. And then we have the moon is gonna sextile Mars and Venus in Capricorn. So we have that Capricornian Earth energy being added into the mix. So with the moon sextiling Mars and Venus in Capricorn, how do you think that playing out?
And the moon is still in Scorpio?
Yeah. The late degrees of Scorpio.
So in the late degrees, we already transformed. We already decided what we wanted. We're gonna be emotionally locked in. And the sextile with Mars and Venus is allowing us to see the opportunity with our emotion being in the right place to utilize Mars, our action, our passion, our desires, and then use Venus, what we truly love, desire, and find beautiful things of that nature to go towards that structure we would like to build, that plan, that Capricorn. Our emotion is ready to get launched, yo.
Yeah.
Three chakras right there.
Yeah, real shit.
And Mars and Venus alone are conjuncting each other. They're birthing something new. The same way how humans and Earth, a male and female, come together. It plays out to the higher dimensions of the planet, having sex. And that would birth something new.
Yeah, wholeheartedly. It's and it's all going through Capricorn. But they linked up within Capricorn, and what are they gonna separate in Aquarius? Right, where they're gonna start to split up. So it's like, where are they? So it's like, this is the conception, you know, this is where the fucking happens, you know, this is where the baby, this is the environment that the baby is being born in, that we're gonna see, you know, born, you know, in the months coming after, for sure. But you're right, like how it ties in, like what you were saying with the seriousness that's being hit with this sextile.
And from like a whole biological point of view, Mars is our neurons and Venus is our hormones, basically. And together they're at Capricorn right now. While Pluto's transforming our skeleton system, our frame, the whole nother thing, Venus and Mars are conjuncting each other, allowing a new birth as they move through Capricorn. And then when we conjunct Capricorn, it's going to be a whole new frame built, a whole new skeleton system, a whole new hardness to your body.
Yeah, a whole new way of starting on your own, of a new way of structuring your life and having a role that plays out within the world. I see how that plays out in life. That's crazy. Really building that structure, and it comes from entering that deep and vulnerable place that the moon will bring you, helping you to really understand where to narrow into that serious places of where needs that structure, you know, where you need to go and start repairing and adding that extra security too, because the Mars and Venus conjunction is so powerful. Pluto being in there too, just the ability to create something, the essence to create something. If you are not in your authenticity and you are not using that Capricorn business structured energy within yourself, you are somehow manifesting someone else's dreams. Yeah, you're manifesting someone else's structure. You making them the shit. You sacrifice it to the goat, at that point. If you're not using these energies that are so volatile, so prime with fertile possibilities for us, and you can really feel it. Like nobody can really guarantee what the future is going to look like, or what our new positions. All of that shit is changed. Pluto came through and transformed all of that shit. The roles that you played on a larger level ain't the same anymore. Your grandparents don't get it. Your daddies don't get it. It's like you're in a new space. You for real in a new space that's requiring you to start to understand how to build for yourself. Or you're going to fall under that heavy authoritative thumb that we've seen coming out. So that's what that pressure really is, and Pluto's really there. Pluto's really looming there. It's like, it's not playing games. It's like, nigga, I will take away your freedoms. You don't want to build your structure? You don't want to stand on your own too? I'll take it all away. And you don't want to play that game.
Because you can see Pluto far out, because it's about distance and closeness. So you can see that black hole right there. Uranus is shaking the gun. So you go like this. And Pluto's right there. So you have no choice but to start jump towards the Pisces energy, develop that dream world, that belief and that system, all those things, and get ready to bring that down here on Earth.
You really don't have any choice. It's really, that seatbelt strapped in.
Bro, if I had like some sort of animation, like watch Interstellar, the ending, that's Pluto.
That's Pluto, eh? Ending of Interstellar. All right, so coming up on Wednesday, on the 23rd, the moon's going to start to trine Chiron as it moves into Sagittarius. Moon sliding out of Scorpio, coming into a trine with Chiron. Right after we dive into those emotions, that challenge, especially with the opposition to Uranus, it's kind of, you were exposed to what you need to do to progress. You cannot not look at that. So when you go in, the moon goes into Sagittarius, now you're supposed to build the meaning and knowledge and reasonings of that, and the broader perspectives of how you're supposed to move and go forward. And I feel like that trine with Chiron is really going to accelerate that healing aspect, because you're probably going to be reminded of yourself. Once you get hit with that, and then you're kind of looking around of what you're going to do, like you've been hit, you're vulnerable, and you're looking around what you're going to do. Well, it's something that you have to do. It's something that's spark within you. It's something that's action that you're going to have to go and take place. I feel that trine with Chiron is really going to remind you of that. It's like, oh yeah, that individual aspect of me needs to be nurtured, or it's like, oh yeah, I can't forget about myself, or that first feeling that I had, that first initial self, or myself in that equation, that you've been neglecting. That it's really going to help you see how you can incorporate your individual into that further progression.
You described it so perfectly. The only thing I would add in right now, when the moon is right in Sagittarius, so this is the mutation into the winter season. So we're getting prepared towards the new moon in Pisces. But before we go there, first we have to write on our mark about our moon and travel spiritually, and that Sagittarius mutable visions and imagination and things of that nature. So we can develop a new sense of self with Chiron being in Aries, because we're traveling spiritually, so we go get that key, so we unlock ourselves from understanding ourselves from a higher perspective of Sagittarius. Essentially, Aries is down here, and Aries might be the god of war, Aries, so he may not understand everything, but Chiron right there could give him the knowledge, and Aries could remind the moon in Sagittarius, you don't have to be so mutable. You could take action. You could remember your first thought, your first original idea, that Abraham, that first awareness.
Starting point.
The starting point. Like the whole Abraham and Moses.
The beginning of it.
Moses being reminded of his father, his forefathers, Isaac, Jacob, and so on and so forth.
Exactly, the first thought. Oh yeah. Start going back to the first thought. It's like, yeah, all of these things have built up, but it's like, don't forget about where you had came and when this all initiated and started. and then assume that you can understand where you're going to progress. You know, you won't be able to understand until you understand that first initial thing. You know, why did I start doing this, or why did I start doing it? What was that first initial thing? If you're not connected with that starting point, you know, you won't be able to see that broader perspective, or be able to truly assimilate the meanings and knowledge that you have accumulated with it. If you don't remember where you started, you could be starting from, you know, say that Cancer starting point, say just to show you where you would start off, you know, that when you first felt things, you know, when you, the first impression, but you forgot that you had thoughts, you know, you had a need, a desire, and a spark, you know, way before you emotionally felt a way about something, you know, that led you to even to that position. So it's really crucial to have that starting point. I feel like that's why Chiron's there. That's what he's trying to remind us of, you know. It's like your starting fucking point. Oh, you have a problem? Oh, you need healing? Where did you start? You know, where did you start? That's what Chiron's really trying to show us right now. And then we have the moon. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, with the moon in Sagittarius, you can see that now, right now. Because Sagittarius over, I see who I am. With Aries right there.
I see I am. Yeah, hands down. Yeah, that's that transit. Moon square the sun. So we're coming into a mutable square where the two transitory states, with the moon being in Sagittarius and the sun being in Pisces. You know, we're starting to see the friction of trying to, you know, push out your meanings and knowledge and reasonings and controlling experiences while going through them at the same time with Pisces.
100%, yeah. And with the moon in Sagittarius, it will make you quite compulsive or restless. So you're gonna be end up wanting to experience and express. Because Sagittarius, they don't like sit down and receive knowledge and wisdom. They want to go through the experiences so they could develop it. But with Neptune right there the sun squaring it is really emphasizing you and pushing you back with that esoteric water to learn first before you try to express yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And it's really testing that your agility on that point, you know. And man, that is such a crucial skill to master. So it's like that's how we should be looking at squares, man. You know, 100%. Those opportunities.
A square between mutable water and mutable fire. You gotta really learn how to center yourself in the middle. So you can come up with the right thought, because air, fire, and water create air, essentially. Your thoughts and ideas and concepts.
For sure. It's like, man, just like with Sag, you know, being ruled by Jupiter, you get that big head. You get that definitely you inflate, and then you start thinking that you see, or everybody sees things from these experiences. Which, when you get hit with the external influences coming in Pisces, you really can't have those type of thoughts anymore. You know, you've been thrown a whole bunch of different curveballs. But if you can adapt on that axis, if you could really manage that axis, you'll understand, you know, how to maintain yourself and how to expand yourself within these influences, how to dissipate yourself. And it's kind of like flexibility, you know, it's like mutable fire, mutable water. I guess, you know, learning how to mitigate between the two.
It's testing your belief system and your imagination, because Pisces is asking you to believe. Pisces believe then see. Sagittarius, they want to see then believe. So it's putting in all this confusion mode. Do you want to believe your goal and then see it, or do you want to sit back, see it, then believe it? It's giving you the choice. It's confusing. It's very confusing. Very confusing. Mutable water and a square. That's very confusing.
Yeah, mutable. You're already in the confusing realm. So don't be surprised if, you know, on Wednesday, you know, it's really giving you that curveball. You're going through those experiences. You're probably, you know, even wanting to say something, but it's not, you know, within the situation. It's like, why, this is so fucking true, but for some reason it's wrong to go and say that. And man, you have to go through that experiences or to gain those meanings and reasonings for you to understand when you should expand and when you should receive. You really have to go through that, go through those mistakes, you know, go through those fuck ups. You're gonna have to, hit that wall so you can develop that agility, so you know when to stop and turn the right direction. For sure. And then you have the Jupiter is over there, which pretty much is the same thing, adding to that same energy.
Bro, so in Wednesday, just watch out. You're gonna be highly confused with those mutable energy, but just pay attention to the moon and Cardian together, trying to help get them to work together, and like avoid the whole confusion energy.
For sure, and take that as a learning experience of transition. It's not necessarily the learning experience of how to mitigate stubbornness. It's gonna learn how to mitigate the axis of mutability. Someone changing, and you having to adapt and change. Someone just completely switching up on you. Or blending into a different type of energy, morphing, shape shifting, and you're gonna have to learn how to mitigate those shifts. For you to be versatile, for you to not be stuck and rigid in that one point.
This is why mutable signs are reptilians. You're gonna learn how to be a reptilian, really
shape-shifting reptilians. Yeah, they weren't talking about shit too far away. They were talking about your reptilian ass. They're talking all about us, man.
100%, yo. You have met people they could shape shift right in front of you, and you cannot believe it yourself. I seen business sharks. I've seen people who looks like pigs based on how they eat. Like spiritually speaking, from a mental speculative point of view. You don't even look at them as humans anymore. Bro, Geminis, they look like reptilians. Pisces, an alien reptilian from this dimension.
Hands down. It's crazy too? It's crazy. I just thought about it. That septum shit? Ladies, don't get mad at me. But that septum shit, how they put it in cows. That's the shit that they use to control cows so that they can move them and they're completely defenseless within that space. And then, the more promiscuous, type girls that you would use, to get the milk out of, those are the ones who be wearing the bell, which is pretty interesting how it reflects on that level.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then we're coming into Thursday, the 24th. And then the moon's going to be in the later degrees of Sagittarius. So we have the moon square Neptune. So basically adding on to that same energy, really showing you how to mitigate your beliefs. And you're really being challenged on that Piscean level of your beliefs. And if you're really neglecting that right now, that's the challenge. If you're really trying to rationalize things. You're too hard without understanding the behind the scenes energy. You're gonna be at a loss. You're not gonna really understand the full essence. It may look, a different way because we're in Pisces, because we're really shaping things, But once you reach out to go and touch that image that you had seen, it's going to go into mist, and it was a mirage. It was a hallucination. If you're not really tapped into that intuitive nature.
This is why it was important for you on Wednesday for the moon to try and Cardian, so you could go get the key, so you could prepare for this Thursday when the moon starts to square Neptune. Much more heavier dreams and illusion. You're getting tested by the co-ruler of Pisces, which is way more powerful than Jupiter, since it's way further out there.
Yeah, it's not asking energy, or it's not asking for permission. It's grabbing directly into your subconscious mind, and projecting that for you. So when you're dealing with Neptune, it's really you're right, man. It's really powerful. The moon squaring Neptune too. That's within that domain.
We're lucky because the moon starts square to the sun, then Jupiter. It prepared us. We're preparing us for the moon to square Neptune.
Yeah, getting deeper and deeper into your beliefs and into the higher levels, and that's crazy because the sun is the surface level, what we're seeing, and then Jupiter is what you're expanding, you're building the meaning, knowledge, and wisdoms, and then Neptune is coming into really what that had built into, the esoteric body that you had built for yourself. That's what you're coming into, with the moon. So it's like you're progressively starting to see those subconscious aspects of yourself. Slowly but surely, you won't be able to run away from it anymore.
100%.
For sure. Then Uranus is squaring Mercury. So Uranus in Taurus coming into an exact square with Mercury in Aquarius. So with Mercury in Aquarius, definitely on that thinking logically, but not necessarily on that on the individual level. It's more so like with everything, really like a accumulation of everything. And if you really look at the world, that's what we're talking about. Nobody's bringing up facts within their individual, experience or within their surroundings. Everybody's trying to talk about the collective as a whole, and disseminating ideas of how we should progress as a whole. So it's you really see that, stretched out all over. And then I see the square happen, but the unsteadiness, the instability, it's hitting all of us because it's Uranus, and it's funny how that's the ruling planet of Aquarius, but it's hitting us all in such personal places differently. You know what I mean? Of what you had held as value, or your personal assets, your security, what you had depended on with stability, it's changing and shaping and morphing, different people can be more adaptable to that type of energy, but it's that's really what we're talking about right now.
And they like to say that Mercury, is the Mercury is the hierarchy octave of Uranus. So basically, you can think about it as Uranus is Mercury on crack. So that square,
basically,
yeah. So Uranus is challenging your Mercury, which is you can think about Mercury as your lower mind in a sense. It's not that lower, but Uranus being such a higher octave type of thinking is really forcing you paying attention between those low type of logical type of thoughts versus those higher collective type of thoughts.
Wholeheartedly, for sure. And you really see that connection with that communicating and the associations that you are having, how it blends into how stable you feel, and how secure you feel. Teamwork makes the dream work. I feel that's a lot of what Uranus is teaching us too. But on an individual level of how that we need that individually for stability. They call Uranus the planet for humanity, representing humans, activity in general. And it's funny you were talking about it being the higher octave of Mercury too.
I think
our higher reasoning ability.
I think Uranus in the Greek mythology, him as a deity wanted to. I think he rebelled against his father, Kronos, so the Saturn. So Uranus, I think he wanted to kill his children also, because Jupiter wanted to kill him, which is Zeus. So Uranus is such a scary type of father he's coming to kill you. You are his children on Gaia, Earth, Malakut. He's gonna be hitting you all those thunder bullets.
Yeah.
And you thinking utilizing Mercury as Hermes running around on Earth, you think he'll keep up with this Uranus god?
Yeah, that's crazy how it plays out like that. That's crazy.
Bro, that's like mythology. I always wonder which one came first, the planet meaning or the mythology first.
Yeah, right. A lot. Well, it was always the energy, and then it's funny how the planet manifested out of that. So it's really so. We were doing that already, and how did we notice it and recognize it? It's like maybe we were playing with that even before this realm of reality, with those energies wholeheartedly, and that's the body.
Exactly. And you know it too. It's just reminding you. You've been doing the same thing over and over and over again and over again.
Really having that those challenging conversations, and look at all of this internal work that we're going through with all of the reflection that we're going through. So with the Mercury and Aquarius, when we're talking, and holding back the water, really trying to control the water too. So it's like this. That sounds really gaslit, you know, like territory. And with the debate nature of Mercury and an Aquarius, this really does feel like some gaslit nature, man. And this is why it's so important for you to understand that intuitive link, so that you don't get moved, pulled into those realms of reality where you'll really get screwed and be swayed by the how people talk and by logic and rhetoric. Just because something sounds right and correct doesn't mean it's necessarily going to provide you that stability. And I think that's another thing that Mercury square might show us. We could talk about it, or we could debate about the best idea of what's most logical, but then Uranus is giving at us that quick jolt, you know, of the stability of shaking things up. You know, it's like really forcing you to have a better type of conversation about that type of shit, you know, forcing you to really dive deeper into it.
100%. Mercury entering Aquarius is like Hermes getting a new set of wings or something. So as opposed to running on the ground, so right now he can fly right now. So he could talk to Uranus. He could talk to Uranus. He could talk to him as opposed to being low in the third dimension.
Yeah, he got the newest Air Jordans on, and that nigga's 100%.
flying. 100%.
That's jokes. So that's Thursday. Getting the energy we're hit with Thursday. Coming on to Friday, the 25th, the moon is going to come into a sextile with the sun because it's now creeping into Capricorn. Coming on Friday. So now we're in a sextile with the sun. So I think it's adding on to that serious energy that we were just talking about with the moon coming in, with that, especially after, you know, meeting with Mars and Venus, making those conjunctions. The moon's coming into that space to really intuitively make sure that we're on that track and really add that psychic link, you know, that intuitive, emotional link to our passions and desires.
Well, exactly. The moon is the mother, so you could think about it during the whole during the whole week. The moon, the mother, was meeting the other Mars, Venus, trying to speak to them, trying to deal with them, and then dealing with Neptune, dealing with Mercury and things of that nature, Jupiter, all the way to right now it's in Capricorn. So we're ready to enter that death portion of the zodiac wheel. We're ready to enter spiritual rebirth, but physical death. Was preparing for a full moon in Pisces.
Yep. Getting or new moon in Pisces. Yeah.
Oh,
getting ready to open. Yeah, getting ready to open up those gates. Because that's what really happens on those the new moons and the full moons. I feel like the moon is really a portal. The moon is really a portal that really connects us to those higher aspects, and we use those to interface with external forces.
Because if we look at our body, that's the Kabbalah or the whole chakra, and it's flying around. The moon is like our solar plexus too, but it's unmarketable. We can use it too, since it's right there with the sun, and it's traveling around with other chakras, trying to get them aligned together to the psychic, emotional link, so we could be emotionally all together.
Emotionally, yep, wholeheartedly, and especially because the sun's in Pisces, we're really gonna need that intuitive link to that backbone. You know, that intuitive link of what we need to feel secure and stable. So it's like you have like a higher platform, or you have, you know, like a stronger, denser frame to start going out into the mist, you know, if you get what I mean. It's like hard emotions, so you don't get, you know, swept up by it. Hard, it's like a ice skin in the mist or something like that, you know. It's like you understand better your emotions, and you know, you're tough within them. It's going to add that dryness to soak up some of that water.
100%. I agree with that. 100%. When it comes to like numerology, like the 9, 8, 6 dimension, so on and so forth, you could think of Neptune as the most further out there, which that realm we did not create yet we could just imagine it, have visions about it, things of that nature, because it's further out. And since we're doing this whole contraction, lengthening cycle, we're getting smaller, but we're growing. We're furthering out the parameter. So when we look down there, there's Neptune, and the moon is allowing us to really develop our psychic ability or our markable to be able to go towards the mist, the further out realm with our feelings and emotion. Since our feelings tends to allow us to ground ourselves, especially on Earth too.
Exactly. It's challenge you to bring those emotions, those more day-to-day earthen type things into those further regions. It's really forcing us to start having that close perspective or bringing those further things. It's like it was out there, and we had free reign to go and explore those aspects, but now it's kind of like we're really being brought there, emotionally being brought there with the moon inflicting that on us. For sure. And then it's going to make that sextile with Jupiter too, adding on to that energy and really giving you the backbone to go through these experiences and to learn from those from the influences that are around you and learn from your emotions. When the moon in Capricorn, adding that little bit of dryness, you're trying to add structure to your emotions. So even though you're within that emotional state with all this water going on, you're adding some types of structure and shape or form to it. You have some type of ambition. You know how you want to organize yourself within a certain frame. So as you're expanding and building knowledge and reasoning within that, I feel so much less energy gets wasted and expanding into those other areas. Yeah, you can expand into this realm of reality, of those influences, and gain meaning, knowledge, and wisdom. But did you really need to learn all of that shit? Did you need to have those imaginations, play with those imaginations, and then go and find out that it was bullshit and that you shouldn't have went into that? I feel like that moon in Capricorn is really going to add that practical reminding to you, this imagination doesn't even have what I need. Why do I even need to entertain that shit?
Because the moon in Capricorn is making you more heavier, it's giving you more frame. So you're seeing all those big ass clouds, and you're really thinking, should I go up higher, or should I just look what beside me, sextile, see an opportunity and deal with it first, initiate a plan, as opposed to just going further out there.
Yeah.
You're starting to practicalize. That's why it's important to build boundaries there with the Saturn energy.
For sure. And like we were talking about before, like how Saturn gets that bad rep, man. It's such a necessary energy, and it's the exact energy that the world fucking needs right now to progress into some form of better cohesion. And it's because we sacrifice that Saturn energy, that authority, to external factors, not building our own levels of authority, not having your own verification system, not having your own structure, deciding your own role that you play within the world. You're just filling within roles. You're taking a job that already exists, or a position that already exists, instead of opening up this brand new position that's tailor-made just for you, that only you can open up.
This is why they make you celebrate Christmas. Take your solar plexus, your sun, then put it in Capricorn, put it in the cross, and then die going, getting their stuff, going to their shops, their malls, their things, and so on and so forth. You're sacrificing yourself. You're Jesus on the cross, their cross.
Oh, yeah. Especially at a time where it's crazy. When it's much farther from you when you're on the northern hemisphere, at least. It's like your solar plexus, it's farthest away from you, and that's when they choose to do that ritual from you, when it's closest to the as dark as it can be. You know what I mean? The further you are.
This is why Leo in conjunct Capricorn, there's a misunderstanding. I can't see clearly down there.
Yeah, it can't see. It's a little awkward, exactly, because it understands. Okay, yeah, there has to be some type of management at some point. Leo's looking at it, but it's like, what about the individual? What about my personal role? And that's where the awkwardness comes in. But if you can't find a way to include the individual, that Leo type energy within with your position in life, where it's just management and efficiency, but not management and efficiency based off of the individual, then you're going to be flunked out, and it's going to be manifest as boundaries. Now you're trapped. Now you're in prison instead of structured, instead of having the added strength, you're in prison.
Do you know what that sounds like? What the energy described? It sounds like the story of Jesus dealing with the Catholic Church and the Roman Empire.
Yeah, dead ass, bro. It sounds like
That's it, yo. Leo going towards Capricorn. That's it.
Dead ass.
And they're making
It's
you
crazy.
practice the ritual every year. You're worshiping, bro. You're dying on their cross. You're killing yourself.
Basically, your highest, man. It's so deep because mass. What is mass? Or when we work with mass, that's like we're talking about death or the death of Jesus. When you start doing that type of stuff, and it's like Christ mass. So it's literally like at Christ, if it's being your higher consciousness, or in that solar plexus.
And it's your the X. They're Xing you out.
Yep.
Xing
Man.
out. You're Christ, yo.
Wholeheartedly, it's crazy. It's crazy how even in tarot, how it's represented by the devil too. I'm just taking that in.
The Tower card. The Tower card. That's it.
Yeah, real talk. How it's represented by the devil, and just the devil being, with the bestiality type aspects of it too, started making me think of. Started going into that loophole or that what do you call that rabbit hole of Christmas, and just how perverted it was, or some of the concepts that go behind it, like the mistletoe literally translate into like poop stick. Literally translates to poop stick, not for any decent reason. I don't know how you get poop stick, but literally, if you were to go and look at the art that those niggas were making, with penises going into little boys' booty holes and shit like that, I think you can now understand what they were talking about with poop sticks and shit like that. You know what I mean? So it's like you see that connection, and I remember hear reports that a lot of children disappear around that time, around that Christmas time too. And what did Kronos, who represents Saturn, do? He ate his children. He ate his children.
100%.
So it's like we're seeing this in the real life. It's playing out right now.
100%, yeah.
Real time. So yeah, later on that Friday, the moon is going to come into a trine with Uranus. So it's going to be more harmonious energy with that Uranus now, because he's trying to come to understand. Look at how fast you would progress when you come direct face to face with what you need to do with your vulnerabilities and what needs to happen. That what happened with the moon earlier in the week, when it was in Scorpio, opposite moon. Now you have the broader perspective and built the meaning and reasoning with it going into Sagittarius, and then now with it in Capricorn, now it's kind of and now you're really organizing your mind and understanding what's serious and prioritizing and structuring things. Now it's like boom with the Uranus energy, and now it's like now you can kind of understand how to better progress, and you're incorporating discipline into it, which is going to help accelerate it, because with Uranus and Taurus, I feel like that adds to that anticipation. Now you're talking about how Uranus is like quick jolts, representing that quick delivery. Yeah, exactly. And then Taurus is the our hormones, where it really helps us balance. So it's going to be like sudden things that affect the slow moving aspects of life, or the aspects of life that have been stable for a very long time. Now it's starting to shake those aspects. And once you add discipline into that area, I think now you can better accommodate, because Uranus is, it is that quick jolt, and you want it now. You kind of want to progress. It's at such a high vibratory rate, and Taurus is literally notorious for taking shit slow, for literally, taking its time. It's about quality, over quantity. It's not about how much of things. It's about having, the thing that's stable. So adding discipline, this moon trine is going to show you that area where you could add discipline, where it's going to allow you to better align with that Uranus energy, where you can mitigate the high vibrational energy in a more steady way. Now you can actually start progressing to your future. Now you're building something, you know what I mean? You're putting your higher vibe energy down here. It's really like, you're so right. It's taking us out of that 3D aspect, or really forcing us to bring down those higher vibrational energies into the physical world. We need it now, we have to bring it down and manifest it here. Requires a lot of balance.
100%. The moon in Capricorn, I like to think about Capricorn. Capricorn is the one who initiated the plan, who got the plan, the structure for us to follow. Uranus in Taurus, all those sudden changes and all that debilitation, since Uranus is losing energy here, it can't push through this fixated brick mentality sign. So with the moon in Capricorn, you getting the structure. It's downloading it to you to stabilize it a little bit. It's helping you initiate so you're slower.
Exactly, yeah, giving you some structure so that you can handle stay within it. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And then we have the Mars and Venus coming into an exact sextile with Neptune too. So Mars and Venus in Capricorn coming into a sextile with Neptune. So adding on to that, what you were talking about with Capricorn, since that's where Mars and Venus is, and how we have that desire for that. And we all feel that now, that desire for control, that desire to have control over the position of our life, and to, be able to organize things, for things to be moving efficient, for us to feel stable and secure. We really have that desire, that personal desire, for us to get back to something that is structured, something that makes sense. But we're going to have to acknowledge our beliefs. With that sextile, it's given us the opportunity to see how we can use our beliefs and direct them into that aspect, just like what we were just saying before, bringing those higher vibrational energies, down to here. It's giving you that opportunity to, you have the desire to bring in control into your life. Look at the beliefs that you have behind the scenes that you can use, or that you're gonna have to mitigate or get rid of, or that can create those opportunities for you to stay on task and stay on track, if you get what I mean.
And
to not get funked out.
And from a biological point of view, you're still developing your 12th house, your skin, to feel to the external world. So Mars and Venus together, Mars representing your neurons and then Venus representing your hormones, is allowing you to build a deeper connection to your esoteric skin, in a sense, to feel there, since your skin like to respond in two ways, using your hormonal system, but also using your nervous system. So Mars and Venus is giving you more access to utilize it and see opportunity, with Neptune being so further out there. You're building your esoteric body with Venus and Mars being right there. Yeah, for sure. It's kind of making preparing. Yeah, it definitely feels like that preparation internally to thinking up your esoteric skin, hands down, for sure. That's crazy. In terms of chakras, I think Neptune is like your third eye or whatever, and then you got Mars, your root chakra, and then Venus right here. So it's like it's so up there. You're looking from utilizing these to go up there.
The lower aspects, and they're giving you that boost so that you can, it's kind of like that pick me up, that throw you up so you can reach those higher aspects.
That Jacob ladder, that Masonic ladder, and so on and so forth. You're going up the ladder. Mars, Venus, Mars, Venus, Mars, Venus, Mars, Venus, to get to Neptune. I like it.
Yep. And you best believe that they're using these energies too. That's why it's so important. That's why it's so important. You put your hat into the race. That you get your little slice of that esoteric pie.
100%.
Stop being subjected to it.
make sure you utilize it. Take the Mars and Venus and create a Kundalini, and then go to your third eye.
That ass. So we're coming on to Saturday, February 26th. The moon is gonna come in conjunct Mars, Venus, and Pluto. So the moon's moving into the later degrees of Capricorn, hitting Venus, Mars, and then eventually Pluto is gonna be hit within there. So just like what we're saying, adding that dryness, adding that that stability and that organization and that understanding of how to incorporate that practical action with all of the emotions that you're receiving and all of the beliefs and influences that you are subjected to, with the moon in Capricorn going on, conjuncting Mars, Venus, and Pluto. How do you think that's going to play out and hit us?
This is a Saturday. Is going to be a very dry Sabbath Jewish business-like day. So definitely put yourself in a state of being that you're trying to be serious on that day. You're trying to build towards your career, status, reputation, how you create a sense of authority. And moon conjuncting Mars and Venus right there, there's just a more push towards that world with your emotions, with your desires, and with what you love. And Pluto's right there, leaving you no choice but to cross the black hole with those three planets, those three chakras, those three mentalities.
All in. That seems like balls deep in. There's no pulling out. There's no nothing. It sounds like you're really going to be in, financially, or like with your like physically with your talents and with your money. With Venus being in there, you're gonna have your passion and aggression. You're gonna be, like agitated. You're gonna want to direct your energy into shit, and you're gonna be feel emotional within it. So it's like, if you have not been paying heed, especially Venus went retrograde within this area, it was trying to tell you, it's like, nigga, I ain't playing, this shit's not a joke. You really have to check over this area. You really have to pay heed to this area. It was letting us know when Mars gets you, that's what Venus is like, my nigga, Mars gets you. Shit ain't no game no more. Y'all think it's a game? I'm showing you to redo these things. If you're not redoing it, if you're not reevaluating how your position within life, if you're not valuing your time and your efficiency, man, when Mars gets you, you're gonna be pissed. You're gonna be pissed off as hell. You're gonna be angry, and you're not gonna know what to do with it.
100%.
And then when Pluto comes, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
100%. There's no way. There's no run. You can't run away from Pluto. In the Greek mythology, Venus got married, but then Mars got with Venus and made her cheat, essentially. So you and I have Mars and Venus together, but Pluto, they're seeing the consequences if they don't do the right thing.
Hands down. Hey, wait, don't that kind of feel like kind of playing the energy of what's it called, Adam and Eve? Kind of reminds me of Adam and Eve, masculine and feminine nature, and then Pluto coming down like the snake, talking about, hey, you can eat this shit. It's like, this is that moment again. It's like, are you going to eat that apple? Are you going to eat that apple?
100%.
And it's like this time they were able to get Venus, or before they were able to get Venus by itself, or the feminine nature by itself, aka influence you emotionally first to get you to start to do the action first. But if you had your masculine nature first, you had direction and purpose and shit like that, you wouldn't get taken off course. If you made a decision, it would have been the decision you wanted.
100%, yeah. So they're influencing your body, which is what controls your emotions and feelings, the desires, and then you got your Adam, your thought is right now with Eve. So you gotta make them marry each other, and they can't let go of each other, because if you let go of Eve, Eve is gonna get influenced, and she's gonna do the same thing that got us to the third dimension.
You goddamn right, and that's the fucking problem with the world right now. And what that story's fucking represented. It all starts from that point, you know what I mean? It all starts from that neglect of that feminine aspect. How are we treating women and stuff like that?
Really?
You don't treat women, exalt them for women's sake. It's for your bitch ass sake, you dumbass. Like, who's raising you?
100%. If they're flunked out, they're gonna raise flunked out children. 100%.
Hitlers. They're gonna raise
100%.
Hitlers. They're gonna raise, niggas that want acceptance. They're gonna raise bitch ass nniggas, cowards.
100%.
People that are gonna vote authoritarians into government and shit like that. You're gonna have more of those.
100%. This is why Leo, the fifth house, is between Virgo and Cancer. Cancer is the nurturing mother, so it's right there beside it. It's semi-sextile, like naturally, and Virgo is right there. It's like the hard, practical mother that doesn't make sense of these things. This is why in the Catholic Church they gotta focus more on the Virgin Mary, the Virgo thing, the Virgo energy, because they understand Leo, Jesus energy could lead to that in conjunction with Capricorn type of situation, aka creating messiahs that die for no purpose because they had the wrong idea about something. And this is what they're trying to tell you in the Bible.
Yo, wholeheartedly, man, wholeheartedly, and that's why it's such a man. That area, that's where we could take over, right? If we all had our own babies and understand that science around it, and through having a child, I don't know what more you can fucking do for the world, by mitigating that type of that energy. And controlling that, the new souls that come in, building them with those minds, that's how you start fashioning a new world. And that's why Capricorn energy, in conjunction with that Capricorn energy, because it kind of gives birth to new that may shake up those previous structures that have been so diligently built, over, hundreds of years, multiple brainwashings and influencing generations, It's hard work that went into it.
Jesus, being Leo, the fifth house, solar plexus, couldn't understand that due to the in conjunction and due to the square between Leo, the fifth house, and Scorpio, the eighth house, being Judas, who betrayed Jesus, and Scorpio, the eighth house, sextile Capricorn. So that would see an opportunity to sell Jesus, who square him to Capricorn up there.
Yeah, dead ass. That's crazy.
Bro, the whole Bible too is right there. It's right there.
It's literally right there. It's literally right there. Luke Skywalker. It's all right there. It's all right there. Fucking everybody.
100%, yo. Like
everybody, man.
You learn from that story that you can't be Jesus. You gotta really follow that whole Aquarius concept, which oppose Leo, which is what it's trying to teach you to do. And everything in the physical dimension, we're doing it in reverse. We're living from Aries all the way to Pisces. But in the higher dimensions, it's the other way around. It's from Pisces to 12th house all the way here. That's how we give birth to ourselves into this dimension.
Yep.
From the higher realm, Pisces, then Aquarius, then Capricorn, then we jumped into Sagittarius, then we developed our organs, reproductive organ, Scorpio, then we give birth to ourselves to Virgin Mary, Virgo, then we give birth to our solar plexus, Leo, the fifth house, then Cancer, the mother. Then Gemini started moving around, and then Taurus became Hebrews, and then in Aries we went to war. Pisces, the age of Pisces, we got lost right here.
Yeah, we got lost and flunked out with that that Jesus story or the belief, and the church took over, blended with state. That's all we could focus on. Now it's knowledge and fact, and authority or who has the most access to disseminate information somehow is, authority, or that's the energy that gets exalted. Who has the best ability to disseminate information, not the quality of the information. It's crazy how we get flunked out over that shit.
100%. And when you think about like things like racism and things of that nature, that really happened around Pisces time, which is kind of funny since Pisces represent our skin.
Shit!
And then we went to the age of Pisces, so we got lost in the external, most outer part of us, the skin, Pisces.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And they're talking about that shit now too. I wonder if there was, some heavy Pisces alignments that it came when they're talking about, racial topics. And when did Neptune go into Pisces? To 2012. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. 2012.
Look at that conversation start to pick up, man. That racial division.
Conscious community.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This is where we learn about and there's not bad things or bad names like not Young Pharaoh, but Polite, Dr. Ali Muhammad, Dr. Malachi York, all these people who gave birth to the conscious community. The whole conscious community is a great representation of purgatory. Everybody getting lost in their mind, utilizing witchcraft they did not create, but they're using it against themselves. And Dole would Parliament like to call it nigger spell.
You goddamn right, and it's crazy how you really get stuck there because it's you get exalted out of a certain point where you start to more so, you're out of a certain mindset, or it's like when you discover the truth of slavery or something like that, or you discover that there's more that went on in your history, that, oh shit, you weren't just Tarzan swinging on vines and shit until niggas came and pulled up in their yachts and shit. It was like, come on and hop on. You start getting privy to some of that shit, start thinking that you understand history perspective, and now the white man's the devil and all of that stuff. But then you go 500 years prior and you were the slave master holding the white niggas, It's like, you go 500 years prior, it's like, prior to that, the whole situation gets switched around and changes.
100%. And if they knew that we're going to head to the age of Pisces back then, thank God. So basically, I was saying that imagine back then they knew we're going towards the age of Pisces. So they were planning back then. They had the plans, the imaginations, the visions. They're gonna give us the religions.
Kind of pre-plan and plan all of that beforehand, right?
100%. Because they knew in Gemini we're gonna be just walking around. We're gonna be nomadic like. We're gonna be Jewish like, Arab like, moving through the desert. Then Taurus, we're gonna probably stabilize ourselves. We're gonna become more like farmers and things of that nature. We can start building structures, building communities and things of that nature. Then Aries, we start going to war, for our visions, imaginations, our egos and things of that nature. Then let's go to war in Aries. Then in Pisces, they came and they took all of us.
Yeah, wholeheartedly, and that's crazy if you look at it how it manifests physically. We started looking at the last 2,000 years of what we really have on the earth, in Pisces, the things that have been built, the structures that have been built really does mimic the subconscious mind in so much ways. The buildings and down to our reality really started to reflect the subconscious mind and the subconscious actions. Look at psychology and the advent of that type of practice, and how it's been deployed on a global level, you know what I mean? Wholeheartedly, you see that in the ages.
100%, Joe. It's crazy how they decided to tell you they discovered Uranus in Gemini, which is, I think, when the internet got invented. That's when the internet became our fourth and fifth dimension. They made you log in, create a golem, create a character, walk inside this world they created by telling you this is when we found Uranus in Gemini. But they knew that a long time ago. And with Pluto in there in Cancer, they transformed your whole home situation. Have you seen how that plays out through the whole American society, African Americans, and things of that nature, the relationship, our home, the whole Section 80, the cribs, the blood? They destroyed your inner heart chakra. They destabilized it.
Destabilize, that inner heart chakra. And it's funny, it's like that Leo energy too. It's crazy how the African American, the black people of America really embody that Leo energy. And I'm not even making that up. Go and ask any one of them, talk about what their biggest quality is, what their strongest quality is. One of them gay niggas, they're gonna tell you their heart. They're gonna tell you their heart, bro. That's what they're gonna say. I got a heart, they're not gonna tell you I'm the most intelligent nigga, and stuff like that. They're gonna tell you I got a heart, and that's their value for them.
They got a solar plexus. They could express their ego. This is why even if they might be in the worst living situation, they might give you the impression subconsciously they're like some form of God, My living situation does not matter. I am this. I am Allah. I am Jehovah. I am Heru. I am, and so on and so forth. Because so built deeply within their subconscious. So they made sure to take advantage of the whole Capricorn in conjuncting Leo to really take control of the structure of America when they came there with the Masons, and then Pluto in Cancer. They transformed. They took your mother. They took your feelings, your emotions. So you no longer have a moon. Your sun could only reflect your earth. what you want to nurture, but you can't see your emotions and things of that nature.
Yeah, wholeheartedly, man.
They looked outside and they were like, okay, we need to make them do this down here.
Yeah, hands down, and it's probably out of the fear of not being able to go there, man, or to tread within those realms of reality to really trying to bring it down here. It's funny, you know, where you get into those aspects, or why are they trying to mimic the subconscious mind so heavy and physicalize it and externalize it within aspects within our reality. You know, right now when we are already connected to these things, you know, this goes on to the, you know, to the apologetics and the theologians and then the Masonic orders and all of this type of shit, where they're trying to make it complicated to get into some shit that we were already born with, you know, where they're trying to make it seem
100%.
crazy that you could build a building that's you know, having this type of thing, but it's like you have intuitive physics, you know. It's like Stephen Curry's the greatest physicist that ever existed. I don't give a fuck what anybody fucking says. Nobody knows angles like that nigga. Nobody knows angles like him. But it's all intuitive. It's all intuitive. You ask that nigga, shoot up 45 degrees, and this nigga fucking you can measure that shit with a protractor and watch him intuitively, you know, get 45 degrees. But that need for the operative, I feel like it's that due to that lack of connection to those higher aspects.
And that's crazy, since you talk about Stephen Curry. Since a long time ago, I heard about his father cheating on his mom, which add more influence to the whole concept about Pluto being in Cancer. The whole home life in America had been destroyed completely. The family been shattered, and it affected Stephen Curry too.
Yep. Yeah, that's crazy. That family aspect. Bro, look at yeah, what were you say?
They started their witchcraft on your family, on your ancestors when they first came here. It all trickles down all the way to who you are today, because they did it back then and they knew what they were doing.
Add on to the Leo, how it represents the children. It was such a heavy focus on the children, you know, because it just takes the one generation. It just takes the one generation to really erase everything, to get rid of everything from it. And then look at that's crazy how Kanye has been talking about it too, with the abortion rates in America, which is crazy too. But look at that. Leo represents children. And we're talking about the link between, you know, like the African Americans and that Leo, because they were here, America representing that, you know, that constellation, that energy, and how their children is really being attacked with Planned Parenthood. I don't want nobody to debate me on that shit. Planned Parenthood's racist as fuck.
100%.
Like literally,
Abortion?
Shorty was at the KKK meetings. Like it was like
100%. Abortions are literally Pluto and Cancer, since Cancer is your womb and things of that nature. And they're utilizing this whole Scorpio squaring Leo energy, since a lot of people like to go America back then. They like to give it the name as American or Ophiuchus, since it lines up with the stars of Ophiuchus, the Archangel Uriel, the West, and things of that nature.
The 13th. So that's interesting. The 13 colonies. That's crazy.
The man holding his snake, holding his desires. Then they use the whole square, that tension, utilizing their past life, which they don't know about. Which is in a closed, private area of Scorpio. They don't know about it. It's hidden. It's secretive, and they're right here down in Leo, their solar plexus. Don't know all about those things, with the opposition to Aquarius is hitting them.
Yep. Hands down, and that's why balancing the mind and the information is what's really, you know, holding them back. You know, and it's and the associations and who they keep around them.
100%. You could think about the Masons and those people who came down there as like the Aquarius 11th house, and them being down here in the 5th house opposing them, since they created a group first there, but they put Pluto in Cancer right there for you, so Leo's get affected by default, since the mother got affected. And then they attack your health system, the food and things of that nature, Virgo. Then they attack you, how you guys create marriages, relationship, Libra. And then they create things like pornography, and then they fuck up the sex life, Scorpio.
Scorpio,
And the
yeah.
AIDS and the whole thing, and then they utilize Sagittarius against you guys too. Give you a flunked out belief systems.
Yeah, I'll give you spirituality that's gonna get you lost and expand, deeper into some flunked out mentalities.
Come learn this Christianity. Come kill your Jesus. Come kill your solar plexus.
Exactly, and it's crazy how it's the different shapes of form Christianity is taking right now. How like it's literally shaped in worship. Like your niggas are saying Jesus without saying Jesus anymore. It's the Jesus spell though.
100%. And it's crazy the fact that the Catholic Church came first before Christianity. So Christianity was under them. And when you view the zodiac wheel, Virgo's right there, and then Leo below right there. And when you see it play out through the European history as different Christian factions, like Protestants, and all these different Christian groups try to debate the original Catholic Church, the Virgo, the Virgin, the Holy Mother, those little children in Leo the Fifth house, and to deal with it.
Yeah, that is crazy.
That is crazy, yeah.
All right, so to close out the weekly horoscope, we'll talk about Sunday. On that, but Sunday you hate getting hit with that with Mars, Venus, Pluto trine. I lie.
We literally got lost in that Pisces water and that dream world. We're trying to explain to them the whole collective subconscious of what happened. This whole life is a real representation of what the fuck we were talking about.
Living through, real physical representations of it, and you can't run away from it. And that's if you're not using your reality or your actions for that purpose. It's like, what are you doing? That's exactly what you're doing. You're living these things out. So it's like, you really need to pay attention to your actions, bro. You need to get out of here as much and understand that every aspect is relating to these things and how interconnected it is. And man, we're really gonna be forced to deal with those energies. We got Mars, Venus, and Pluto is going to trine and sextile the nodes. So when Mars, Venus, and Pluto all going to be, 25 degrees Capricorn, 25 or 26 degrees Capricorn, hitting the nodes. So this is really going. So when we're telling you about this Capricorn energy, Mars and Venus, like you see how intelligently designed these patterns are, because it's intense. How it's really changing the direction that we are heading in, esoterically or spiritually. What we're giving birth to right now, and how if we're ready to let go and transform into the positions and the roles that we really need to do to have that stability that we desire, we're really being challenged, because we're gonna have to understand that Taurus energy and mitigate that uncomfortability of what you have. And right now, there's so much that we're looking at that we desire, where it's comfortable to desire and want things with the South Node. So how do you think the sextile or what that with Mars, Venus, and Pluto is going to hit us with the nodes?
This is the whole week was preparing you for this moment, where you can see
for this moment
for you 100% for you to see that your spiritual path, dealing with Taurus, dealing with earning money, getting possessions, assets, and things of that nature. And Mars and Venus right there with Pluto. That's really emphasizing the fact for you to go down, come back here to Earth. Even though Uranus is right there shaking the ground, Mars and Venus right there helping you to have almost like a Kundalini awakening, and then hit that conjunction with Pluto for a transformation. So you come down here on Earth, Tartarus, on Taurus, and deal with this Uranus or up energy, since Pluto right there is giving you the energy. If you're gonna handle Pluto, Uranus shouldn't be that bad.
That man, I really think that's what's really been showing us right now. It's it's like the extent. Like if you can really withstand, this transit that is coming down. If you can withstand this Pluto thing, it's really gonna give you that keys. It's gonna give you that shape and form that's going to help you really take on that Uranus energy. It's going to really show you the necessary transformations that you're gonna have to do on that level. And Pluto's showing us that it's our responsibility and it's our self-discipline and how we structure our lives that we need to transform and change, where we need to take power and control, and we're volatile to other people trying to take power and control and trying to transform that shit for us. So it's just going back onto that responsibility aspect where and discipline, how it's an aspect you cannot leave, and it directly relates with that Pisces energy, because if you don't have that, you're floating in the wind, floating in the wind.
100%, yo. The North Node is right there, reminding you. I got come down here. Wow, Mars and Venus and Pluto, and so Mars, your Adam, and then Venus being your Eve is right there, and God, the observer, Pluto is right there. He's gonna throw Adam and Eve down here. Let's see how you guys could handle this intense Uranus-like Garden of Eden type of situation.
Yeah, hands down. It's definitely heavy transformative energies this week, and if you could survive this week, man, and be aware, man, you're going to be suited up. Man, are you going to be aware of what's going to present after. It's really, if you paying attention to the energies of this week, is really going to give you that key that to those make you privy to the energy in the shape of form that you need to mold into, how these things are affecting you exteriorly for you to handle the energies going on. Because we're leading up to it. It's funny, we look at the leading up to these things, but there's going to be an aftermath. Like we're talking about look how the Pluto return is on the 22nd. So it's like the aftermath energy is really what's gonna hit us, or the cascading of events that's coming in. So it's really pay attention. Awareness is key.
You guys will never forget this Pluto in Capricorn. We're gonna live to tell our children Pluto was in Capricorn. You'll never forget it.
Never forget it.
You remember
man.
Aquarius too. You remember that Saturn and Aquarius and how they used it to create boundaries and restrictions on how we associate each other. We can't go out. We gotta take certain vaccine proof and to go there and there and there. We gonna remember that shit, yo.
Yup. Look how they took away your ability to work, your ability to organize yourself and shit like that. So Pluto goes into Aquarius. What is it? Taking away your ability to communicate, to take your ability to disseminate information. So it only gets scarier. It only gets scarier.
100%.
But yeah, that's the week. That's the yeah.
And then you're gonna have to rely on all the Pisces water. This is the time for you to jump in and believe. Living is your choice, yo. It's really forcing you to use your mental, spiritual, speculative power. Really, it's really forcing you to bring some mixed things to this reality. It's really forcing you to go out there and bring it down here. So we could.
You can't separate it anymore. You can't separate it anymore. You're gonna have to bring those aspects together and understand that dynamic, that duality, or else you will get washed up. This is like the esoteric flood. You know what I mean? Like if a flood were to come, and look how we're talking about sea levels rising and shit like that. If our esoteric state of being is gonna influence shit, I still see a flood happening because that's what's happening esoterically. We're really being washed under the waves. And are you going to be an esoteric soul surfer riding that bitch? Are you going to be on that the Noah class? Riding. And look how he had the two types of animals. The balancing of his animalistic type natures. That duality concept. Masculine and feminine, really bad. And that's how he was able to ride the fucking wave.
100%, yeah.
For sure. So that's the horoscope, guys. That's the week broken down. If you want to try any of our services, you can hit us up on Instagram. We're on the Truspace _ on Instagram, true without the E, and then we have our website, truspace.biz. Hit us up, subscribe, leave a comment, support our stuff. We got so much more coming for you, and thanks for tuning in.
Shout out to the subconscious community.
Oh yeah. Shout out Domo, shout out Peace Theater, all the man there.
Yeah.
Alright, take care.